What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to yet another riveting edition of Mr. McGuinty's How-To Guides. I'm your host, PMcG. Today we're going to cover the installation of the dual adjustable short throw shifter by Cobb Tuning for the Subaru Impreza WRX and WRX STIs years 2008 to 2012. Let's do it! Alright, before we begin, don't forget to stop by the channel and check out all the other how-tos. There's tons already there, and there are more to come. There should be an icon somewhere around here, just click it and it'll take you right there. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing. This helps out the channel, which in turn helps me make more content for you.
Now, to get this guy in here, you do a couple of things to actually get down into the main components. First, we got to take the actual shift knob off, and then we got to take this piece of trim out so that we can get all of this out and expose all the internal components. So the first thing we need to do is take this guy off. So just get a hold of it, and you want to turn counterclockwise until it pops off. See, it's starting to separate there. There we go. Now it's off. Imagine shifting like this. Okay, so now that we have the actual shifter itself off, what we need to do is actually pull this up, because there's a screw that is right here that's keeping this attached. This side will easily pop straight up, and if you look down inside here, there's actually a clip that holds it. Because of the way that this is designed, you can't just pull up on that without moving this. And if you manage to get this up, you probably wouldn't be able to get it back underneath without removing this. So, what we need to do is actually just go along this seam right here very carefully. I'm doing it with a flathead screwdriver because I trust myself. If you don't, get a trim removal tool. It's light, or it's softer than the material that you're actually going to be removing. So, let's see here. Should be right about there. A little. There we go. There's one. Right here. There's two. Three and four. Alright. And you get the idea. You go all the way around until this is completely loose. And speaking of that screw, it is right there. It's a Phillips head. Okay, so now that the screw has been removed from right there, and all of the other clips have been removed, you can reach in here, and the whole thing will wobble like that. Now, for this trim, you can get your finger or fingernail right underneath here, and you can pop it up. Right now it's unclipped, but say clip it back down. My fingernails, pop it right up. Same with this one, pop it right up. And what you want to do is, because this is obviously still going to be in the way, and I'm doing it one-handed, I'm not going to be able to do this, but you want to basically get this up just a little bit, and then slide back towards your little armrest here. And now if you're having trouble getting this out because this just isn't bending quite enough, you can actually get back here, and you probably can't see it, but right down inside here there are two Phillips head screws. Unscrew those, and you can take this whole center console out just enough to be able to get this whole thing out. Let's see, with the center console screws back here out, you can lift this whole thing way up, which makes it actually a lot easier to just pull this out. See, there you go. Take that, and we're going to lay it right down over here. Now that we have the actual trim piece out, we want to take out all of this stuff. There are two clips here, or one here and one here. They should either unscrew or pop out depending on which one is installed in your vehicle. Mine, I think, is actually a screw. And let's see here. Oh, hey, you know what? It's not a screw. It's actually a pop-off. It's just very tight. I should be doing this with my gloves, but I'm not. Alright, then this is all just squishy. It reduces sound in the cabin and that whole jazz. Alright, let's slide this up over. There we go. Take that guy out. Hey, look at that. The actual shifter assembly. Yay! Okay, so this is the point where it's recommended to use two 12mm boxed wrenches. I've actually opted for a socket and a 12 mil. Obviously I can't do this with the camera up because it requires 2 hands, but I will put this down and get it unwrenched, and then we'll slide this out to get this guy out of the way. Alright, out it came. There is what was in there. We got the actual linkage back to the transmission, and now free floating. Mind you, there is a snap ring down here with a bushing that does need to come out before this will actually lift, and we'll get to that in just a bit. Next up, we actually need to remove the snap ring. It basically sits like this, and where the tip of my finger and thumb is, there's a hole, and that's where these guys would come in. I don't know if it'll focus on it, but those 2 little prongs at the very front there, you would stick down inside, and then you would bring it together to actually get it to release. Okay, so the snap ring is actually above the top of that hole, and I've actually already loosened this up, so it should just pretty much fall right out. I did have to give it a good tug. Now, mind you, I'm not trying to pull the sword out of the stone here, but you know, you don't want to end up breaking. Let's see, here we go. There we go. You don't want to end up breaking the that white bushing, because if you do, then you're going to need to order another one. And then, of course, this guy, the bushing as well as the cylinder in the middle, those are going to come out and go into this hole right there on our shifter, as well as all of these components are going to go onto the bottom of the new shifter. Now for this, what you're going to do is just take a screwdriver and push that cylinder in the middle out, and that'll give you the ability to stick the screwdriver inside and push the bushings out from the opposite direction. So from the middle here, you'd be pushing this way, or from the middle here, you'd be pushing this way on the opposite side. Okay, now I have taken the snap ring and the bushing off of the original one and put it on to the new Cobb short shifter. And I've also taken the bushings out and the, just the, whatever the hell you want to call this guy. I'm drawing a complete blank right now. This out. So 2 bushings and this out from here into here, and then the bushing and the retainer as well as the snap ring onto here. Easy way to get the snap ring on, just basically take this guy, squeeze it so it's actually spreading the snap ring open, and then just drop it over the head and let go, and it'll clamp right back up. Alright, at this point we're actually ready to put it back in, but first we need to take this guy off. So go ahead and take your hex bit, loosen this up, slide that out, and then we'll stick it back down in there. Okay, shifter is back in, but it's not pushed all the way down into the bracket yet, and you can't see it from here, but we also need to get the snap ring reattached so that this guy doesn't come popping out. Now notice that, I guess what you could call the grip here, you know, these dimples or whatnot, this is facing away from the dash, so it's aiming towards the back of the car. If you have it flipped around the other way, you're not actually going to be able to get the interconnect for the transmission attached. So get it spun in the right direction. You know, you'll have Cobb out here facing the car, or facing the front of the car, and then you should be good to go. What you'll need to do next is, depending on how short you want your throws to be, the middle one of these guys right here, loosen this up and move the length of the bottom portion of the dual adjustable shifter to the right height. If you get a little too low, you may have some issues shifting into certain gears. It's just a matter of clearance. And then the top one will actually allow you to set the height of it. So the top is height of your shifter, and the middle is the throw, or how close you want the gears to actually be. I'm going to go for as low as possible, but still leave just a little bit of a gap for clearance. It'll actually make it a little bit easier for you to gauge how your shifting clearance and how everything's going to work out if you actually put the bolt back in. So I'm going to tighten this up, and then I'm going to test my my height to see how everything feels. Do a couple of dry run shifts after I throw the actual neck of the shifter back in here. So the short throw shifter is actually at the shortest length right now, and I'm finding that I can't actually shift into second and fourth without slamming it down into gear. There's a bushing that you can't actually see here, but it's basically slamming up against that, and it just the throw is so tight that it can't get past it. So if I were to go into first, super easy, and I try to come back down into second, it stops, and I actually have to jam it down in there. So come back out, and we're in neutral, and I would go down into fourth, and it just pushes. You got to push really hard to get it down in there, and then getting it back out is a little tight too. So we're going to actually lengthen this a little bit. Right here are all of your hex bit adjustments. It's actually on the other side, but these are all flush, but the middle one will allow you to slide that up and down. Okay, I found the sweet spot for my setup. The actual joint down here and where it sockets in, since this is dual adjustable, the actual throw portion of it I had to bring up by about the width of a pencil so that it would clear second and fourth when I would pull down. Right now, right here, you can barely fit a piece of paper down in here, but that's as far as it'll go. And if you go any further, then it chokes up when it tries to get into gear. So, and then as far as the neck, I'm setting it as low as it'll physically go. Okay, it's time to get all of the soundproofing back in, and I have it shifted into third, which keeps the shifter straight up. And obviously, because I'm doing this one-handed, I'm putting the camera down. Alright, got all the soundproofing back in. We get our screws and clips back in. That reattached. Here we are. Now, we just need to get that guy back over here and then get all this tightened up. So just reverse the process when you took it apart and get everything slid back in, clip down, get your one screw here put back in, and then of course if you unscrewed back here like I did to get that extra little bit of lift, go ahead and put those back in as well. And there you have it. If everything went according to plan, you should have no parts left over other than your little hex bit Allen wrench right there and the parts that you were working with. And there you go. New short throw installed. Alright, hope this helped you out, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe.